Yeah. Alright, bedtime story time, y'all. I didn't know why I'm wearing headphones now, because I'm not playing anything on my screen. But I'll post a picture of Cornelia sometime. Alright, so here's the description here. This is for Achievement Hunter. And it's a pretty cute little one-shot fic here. Alright, here's the summary. Jeremy has an intense crush on Gavin, but he's certain Gavin doesn't like him back. After all, he's the hot international student, and Jeremy's, well, Jeremy. Until out of the blue, Gavin develops a sudden fascination with Jeremy's pet cat, and suddenly it seems like all his dreams are coming true. Alright, y'all, let's get into this fic. How I can make it bigger. Oh yeah, bigger. Oh wait, I had to do a British accent. God, I can't do a British accent, guys. I hear you have an enormous cat. Just like that, Jeremy's dreams all come true. Gavin Free is talking to him. It's the moment he's been waiting for. The other boy noticing him. He never believed it would happen. Barely dared to hope. Taking this off. It's probably stupid. After all, they're friends. Oh my god, my voice sounds really loud now. Or at least, they're part of the same group. A half-dozen IT students who all take the same units. Jeremy knows Michael, see, and hence by extension, he's gotten to know all Michael's friends. You left for 1 second. Yeah, we're doing this now. Of which Gavin is one. The most noticeable one, to Jeremy at least. How can he not be infatuated by the international student with his lilting accent and squeaky laugh and how he lights up every conversation? Has them all in stitches with his silly comments and ridiculous questions? How he looks like he belongs in a fucking fashion magazine, all tan skin and long slender limbs and stylishly windswept Euro haircut. Maybe Septiplier next time. I don't really know any of those. God, that's my place. Jeremy's besotted and terrified. Mostly terrified because Gavin's pretty damn intimidating. To him, anyway. And Jeremy might be close to Michael, but he's more acquaintances with the rest of his group. Because he's not in their classes with them, and he's just really, really wants to get to know Gavin more. In every way. Was that creepy? That was a little bit creepy. This is why he keeps his distance. He is an awkward fuck, and also Gavin is so interesting and pretty in the life of every conversation, and Jeremy's just, well, Jeremy. So either way, they never really talk. Even if he really, really wants to. I cannot do Markiplier's voice. Don't even, I can barely do the British accent. Where was I? Oh yeah, in fact, he has been fantasizing about the party they're at now since he heard that Gavin was going too. A bunch of different, silly daydreams, encountering Gavin outside, staring pensively up at the moon. Look, he is allowed to have a dramatic setting. It is his daydream, damn it. Adele plays quietly in the background. Jeremy is inexplicably a foot taller and ripped, in his imagining, at least. He'll ask if Gavin's cold and give him his jacket. Classic romance, like in all the movies. If they kiss, Gavin's foot will probably lift off the ground. Or Jeremy's will. Both work. Or, a rather more realistic one, Michael will come up with Gavin and get into a conversation about video games, and then leave, and the two of them will continue talking by themselves, and Gavin will get excited, realizing they have a similar interest. Jeremy knows they do, knows they'd have a lot in common to talk about, if only he could work up the damn courage. Or even, Gavin approaching him, on his own. Oh god, British accent again. Saw you turn up on a motorbike, he'll say. Sweet ride. Jeremy will be casual. Badassly casual, even. Is that a thing? Yeah, it is, he'll say. All suave like, you ride it all? I don't even know how to do Jeremy's voice. No, never. Want to spin? And then they will zoom off into the night, a wide-eyed Gavin clinging to his waist. There are logistical problems with this one, of course. Like the fact that Jeremy only has one helmet. Safety first. Or that he probably won't conveniently arrive at the party at the same time as Gavin. And there's no fucking parking around, so he'll have to walk a couple blocks to even get to the party. I'm glad you made toast. God, every time I look at the chat, I lose my place. Alright, that's why it's a dream. My accent's so bad, guys. So he's come up with all these wonderful ways that their first conversation will happen. Yet here is the reality. Jeremy's lurking alone by the drinks table, mid-sip of a beer, when he turns and Gavin is right there. And he chokes on his drink and spews liquid out of his nose as Gavin says, "I hear you have an enormous cat." Just kill him now. Fucking strike him down with lightning. God or Zeus or fucking Satan, or whatever deity or devil is determined to mess with him. The music is so loud that he thinks Gavin said cock. That is the worst part, because it means that he's standing there, nose burning and dripping beer down his front, and replies, hysterically, "Gotta make up the height somewhere." "What?" Gavin asks, and Jeremy stares at him. "What?" he replies, and Gavin blinks at him, confused. "Cat," he repeats. "You have a cat?" Jeremy wants a sinkhole to open up and swallow him into the earth. He will evolve and become a mole person and never interact with another human again. "Oh," he replies. "Oh, I thought... Oh. Okay, that makes more sense." Gavin laughs. He seems amused. That's good, right? He grabs a handkerchief from his pocket. People carry those around? And offers it to Jeremy, who takes it gratefully and wipes up the mess on his shirt. "Sorry," he says, flustered. "Sorry, got confused. Yes, I do have a cat." "Is it uncommonly large? Because this is what I was told." Gavin continues. These are characters from Achievement Hunter. Or not characters, they're people, but, yeah. Don't worry about it. Just pretend they're original characters. Jeremy has no idea what's going on, except Gavin's talking to him, and he's making a damn fool of himself, and oh god, he has to salvage this. It is? He's a Maine Coon? He explains, and Gavin's eyes light up. So yeah, he's really big, very friendly cat, very cuddly. "That sounds ideal," Gavin informs him. "Imagine them as furs, go for it, yeah." "What the fuck is going on here? Do you have a picture of him?" "Yes," Jeremy replies weakly, and the next thing he knows, Gavin is stepping closer, right up next to his side, and peering over his shoulder. Help. Okay, this is good. This is very, very good. Except his heart is pounding, and he's too scared to turn his head because of how close their faces will be. He fumbles out his phone, mistypes his lock code twice because he's so nervous, and finally pulls up his phone gallery. "Oh," Gavin says, "you take lots of pictures of your food." Great, now he thinks Jeremy's one of those people. "I mean," he says, it looks delicious. I text them to my parents. Thank you, finish. Thank you for the birthday wish." "That's sweet," Gavin says, and then gasps when Jeremy pulls up a picture of the cat. "Oh, it's so fluffy! It really is big." "He's fat," Jeremy murmurs, flicking through. He has an entire gallery of the cat. Stop reading ahead, Galaxy! It's very photogenic. Gavin touches his arm to stop him when he gets to one of the cat curled up on Jeremy's chest. His cheeks heat, self-conscious. "Wow, it's enormous. What's his name?" Gavin asks. My accent keeps changing. "BUTTERNOG," Jeremy replies, even more embarrassed. "BUTTERNOG!" Gavin cries. "Oh my god, that's incredible. I love it." "Thanks? What a sublime cat," Gavin says. Jeremy finally looks over at him, and Gavin's eyes are shining, and they're so close that you can see every detail of his face, and Gavin looks so good tonight. A few buttons popped on his shirt, hair gelled up into a ridiculous quiff that somehow suits him perfectly. I must meet him. "Meet him?" Jeremy asks. "You want to meet him?" "If that's okay with you," Gavin replies, and bounces up and down on the soles of his gold sneakers. "He just looks so wonderfully cuddly that I feel the need to squish him for myself." "I mean, that's totally fine with me. Yes, you can meet him." Gavin and the cat. I love the cat. "You can come over." Oh god, he's so awkward. "You know where I live, right? You can come over any time and have a look at him. You'd probably love the attention." "Wonderful," Gavin exclaims. "I'm going to. How about on Tuesday?" That's not Gavin's accent at all. "I finish at 4. I can come over after that if you're going to be home." A time and date. The new one he made has little devil. Aw, Dean Winchester. That's cute. The sound of the other man's voice wrapping around his name is enough to make something inside Jeremy feel like it is melting. Your name is Gavin? Aw. That's cute. Especially when, a second later, Gavin smiles at him and then reaches out and squeezes his arm. Jeremy's pretty sure he looks like a fool because all he can do is stand there staring and giving a huge grin. Yeah, Dustiel is cool. "See you Tuesday then," Gavin says, and then walks backward and mysteriously disappears into the crowds of people, leaving Jeremy love-struck and reeling. Alright, page break. On to the next part. Jeremy lives in a small, cheap flat near the university, full of students even if it's not actually part of the uni lodgings. His roommate, Matt, is another IT student and in most of his classes. He's also the bane of Jeremy's existence right now because their place is a fucking mess and Jeremy's flying about the place trying to clean it before Gavin comes over, while Matt lies on the couch, eating Cheetos, and being absolutely no help. "Can you get off your lazy ass and pick your laundry up? What reason can there possibly be for your underwear to be out here in the living room?" he cries, while furiously dusting the top of the TV. You know, in case Gavin decides to inspect it. "I had sex on the couch," Matt informs, deadpan, not moving from where he's got his laptop precariously balanced on his stomach, watching YouTube. "You've never had sex in your life," Jeremy jeers back. "Pick them the fuck up because I'm not touching them." "I'll do it later," Matt says dismissively. "I fucking mean it. This place needs to be clean. Gavin's coming over." That makes Matt look up. "Oh ho ho," he says. Jeremy does not like the implications of this oh ho ho. "Is that so?" "Do not give me that face," Jeremy says, waving the duster angrily at them. "He's coming over to play with the cat." "Right," Matt draws, and very smugly pops another Cheeto into his mouth. "Why do you care so much?" "You know why I care so much," Jeremy replies, cheeks burning. It's not like he's made his crush on Gavin a secret. Not to Matt, at least. Yeah, the secondhand embarrassment. "Do not fuck this up for me." "You don't need to go out to all this effort," Matt replies. "He's a college student too, his room's probably just as messy." "Are you kidding? Have you seen him?" Gavin's fashionable, with his expensive sneakers and button-downs. Also, Jeremy's pretty sure he's rich, since he lives on campus. "I need to make a good impression." "Trust me," Matt says. "He won't care. He's just as awkward as you are." "He is not," Jeremy cries. "Gavin's popular, isn't he?" That is, Jeremy assumes he is, because he's so outgoing with everyone in their group. They don't actually have any classes together. He's only seen the other man around Michael and stuff. You know this fanfic? But he's so handsome and put together, and anyone with that haircut and accent has to be some sort of social butterfly. It's not kinky, shut up. Gavin knows what he's doing with everybody. Jeremy doesn't. That's what gets him so nervous around him. No, this isn't smutty. "You're making this so much bigger than it really is," Matt says, and laughs at him through a mouthful of Cheetos. No smut. There's no smut in this. This author doesn't write smut, which I appreciate. Orange crumbs spray out of his mouth and all over the carpet. It is clearly deliberate, and Jeremy scowls at him. "Make it clean," he orders again, and Matt just laughs again, knowingly, as Jeremy fumes. Okay, next little page break. This is a really cute fic. By 3:30 on Tuesday, Jeremy is quite sure he might faint. Maybe some other time we'll read smut. He feels faintly lightheaded. He's not sure if it's excitement or the fact that he skipped breakfast this morning to do some last-minute cleaning. On the plus side, you could eat off the carpet now. He paces nervously around, too worked up to do anything before Gavin gets here. And then, as it gets closer and closer to 4 o'clock, he realizes he has no idea what he should be doing when Gavin gets here. He can't just be doing nothing, like he was standing around waiting for him. Even if he was, it'll be too obvious. Guys, give me a link and I'll read it after this one. Should he spread out some work materials as he looks studious? But then Gavin might think he's a nerd. Reading a magazine? Do people still read magazines? On his laptop on the couch? Thank God Matt's out at least. Eventually, he just starts playing Peggle, terribly distracted and unable to focus. A link of a fic. Something relatively short. And good. And when he hears a knock on the door, he pauses, wipes his hands on his pants, and goes to open it. And there is Gavin, standing outside the door beaming at him, looking as wonderfully casual as usual. He has a backpack over one shoulder, but even dressed in a hoodie and jeans, he manages to make Jeremy stop in his tracks. Gavin looks up. He gives a funny little smile that Jeremy's never seen before. Not that he, keeps track. That'd be weird. It's smaller, almost shy. God, Gavin's back. Hey, little Jay, he says brightly. Oh, that wasn't British at all. That rhymes. He's so adorable that Jeremy might explode. Hey, Gavin. Hi, Gavin. You find the place okay? Yep, it's nice. Everything's in walking distance. He peers over Jeremy's shoulder into the apartment. Is your roommate here? Matt? Nah, he's got class. Come in, he adds, in a flustered rush, stepping aside. How were your classes today? Pretty good. Gavin's already peering curiously around as he steps into the flat. Can I see the cat? Oh, are you playing Peggle? Jeremy nods again, and when Gavin turns to him with an enormous grin, his heart flutters. I love Peggle, Gavin announces. I play it loads with Jeff. That's my roommate, you know. Hey, your apartment's really clean. I try and keep it neat, Jeremy says casually, shoving his hands in his pockets. Oh yeah, Peggle's really fun. I'm not that good at it. Jeff's great, Gavin announces. We've got all the achievements. Oh, he exclaims as the cat slinks in from Jeremy's bedroom. BUTTERNOG! I love that name. Wow, he's huge. Careful, he'll get hair all over you, Jeremy begins, but Gavin's already rushing forward and sitting in the middle of the carpet. Jeremy watches with a fond smile. BUTTERNOG's one of the friendliest cats he's ever met, and he doesn't run away, just comes over when Gavin stretches a hand out and starts scratching his head. Gavin looks up with a huge smile. I love him, he declares, and Jeremy laughs. Almost said Gavin. That afternoon is one of the best of Jeremy's life. He gets over his nervousness pretty quickly and goes back to playing Peggle while Gavin sits on the floor, playing with the cat and watching, laughing and cheering him on. Yeah, Gavin's a friend to join. I'm already almost halfway through the fic though. They get along well. Jeremy's always thought they would, but somehow it's different now. Jeremy? Yeah, I said Jeremy. It's their ship name. But somehow it's different now. It's actually happening. Gavin always has plenty to say, but he keeps asking Jeremy about himself, too. His classes, what other games he likes. It's everything he's been waiting for, and he has to struggle not to get too excited, to answer too eagerly, to let Gavin know just how fucking much he is into this. After a while, Gavin glances at his watch, and Jeremy realizes it must be dinner time by now. Did you email me, Equinox? Because I'll check it later. God, I already lost my place. By now, the other man is sitting on the couch, and BUTTERNOG snapping, curled up in his lap. Can I get you anything to eat? It's getting pretty late, Jeremy asks, only to realize that he has nothing that he'd want to present to Gavin. They have ramen and pizza rolls, and that's assuming Matt hasn't eaten them already without telling him. He turned the volume all the way up. Yeah. He's still convinced that Gavin's rich, that he probably eats those 5-ingredient fresh food meals that he always sees Jamie Oliver banging on about, or some shit like that. No thanks, Gavin replies. I should get back home by now, but this was fun, he adds. I love BUTTERNOG. I have a cat back home and I miss her. And no one's allowed pets in the uni lodging, so I am having cat withdrawals. Come back any time, Jeremy blurts out, maybe a bit too quickly. No, really, you should. Feel free to come over and help yourself. To the cat. Gavin stares at him for a long moment. Are you making fun of me? He asks finally. No, Jeremy replies quickly, flustered. But Gavin just laughs after a minute. He nudges at BUTTERNOG, and the cat lazily gets up and then jumps off his lap, running over to his food bowl. Gavin gets up and picks long yellow fur off his jeans before turning to Jeremy with a smile. You should have me on Xbox, he announces, so we can play games together. Oh my god. Jeremy has died and gone to heaven. Praise God. Alleluia. I'd like that, he replies, with remarkable self-restraint. Gavin nods, satisfied. Gavino free, he says. Do it. Jeremy nods again, enthusiastically, and walks Gavin to the door. There's a slightly awkward pause before Gavin leans in and hugs him. Oh my. Okay. Does he hug all his friends? Is this some sort of weird European thing? Jeremy hugs him back, and for about 5 seconds he has an internal crisis about whether he's squeezing him too tightly or too loosely, or if his hands are too low on Gavin's back. But when they pull apart, Gavin seems quite happy, smiling and thumping Jeremy lightly on the shoulder. Like to Jay, he cries and wanders off as Jeremy gives a slightly awkward wave and watches him go. That went better than he could ever have expected. He's almost suspicious because nothing in his life goes as well. Ever. But he's hardly about to complain, and as soon as he shuts the door, he lets his face stretch into the biggest, goofiest grin of his life. Even pumps a fist into the air, since there's no one around to see it. Alright, page break. On to the next scene. Jeremy doesn't see Gavin for a couple days after that. Their entire cohort is busy with an upcoming test, and no one arranges to hang out as a group. It's Friday afternoon, and he's finally finished the assessment task and is on his way home when he gets a text from an unknown number. Received. Please say hello to BUTTERNOG for me. Received. This is Gavin, by the way. I don't think I should do an accent for text. I don't know. As soon as the second one rolls in, he stops in the middle of the footpath and can't help his smile. They're not close enough to ever have texted before. Someone bumps into him and he quickly gets out of the way, chewing on his lip as he tries to figure out a reply. Oh, you have to go soon? I'm halfway done. Sent. Will do. How did you get my phone number? Gavin replies, almost immediately. Received. I asked Michael for it. Received. By the way. Received. Let's play Portal tonight. Happy face. Jeremy's grin widens. He saves Gavin's contact and practically skips home. Oh, Jeremy. Alright, page break. It's a little awkward at first, talking to each other over their headsets while loading up the game. Jeremy's shy and unsure what conversation to make, but Gavin starts talking about the test and complaining about uni work. Is always a great way to bond. Before long, they're laughing together. It's easier not actually having to see Gavin's face. Not having the nervousness of him being physically present. Before long, they're working together to complete the levels. Something settles into a comfortable silence. Sometimes exchanging easy banter. Can't speak. Gavin alternates between being very clever and making completely senseless decisions, and Jeremy can only laugh and patiently direct him to the correct things. Oh, you have to go. It's wonderful. It's going better than he could ever possibly imagined. And actually spending time with Gavin on their own, not just watching him quietly while they're in a bigger group, he's falling even more in love. Oh, it's disgusting, actually. Matt comes home that evening and shoots Jeremy a very smug look when he realizes what's going on. Jeremy pulls a face back at him, but is relieved when Matt heads off into his own room to give him some privacy. What a bro. What a bro. I want to come over and see your cat again, Gavin announces. It's past midnight by now, and Jeremy's starting to get tired, but he's having so much fun he barely cares. Me right now, to be honest. They've hit a lull in the game after getting stuck on a puzzle. Of course, Jeremy replies eagerly. When will we be home? Tomorrow, Jeremy replies. Aw, bye Galaxy. I have work in the morning, but I finish at 3. Sweet. I have some work to do in the computer lab, so maybe you can meet me at uni once you're done and we'll go over together. That sounds good, Jeremy says, and there's a silence in which he thinks, on the other end, Gavin must be smiling. I'm excited, Gavin says after a minute, and then, yay, BUTTERNOG! Jeremy can only laugh, glad for the excuse for him to come over, even if it is mostly to see the cat. Poor Beastie Boy. Okay, we had a page break, by the way. That Saturday is the slowest day of work Jeremy's ever had. The minutes feel like hours, dragging by until finally 3 o'clock hits, and he's out of there, driving back home quickly and then walking to uni to get Gavin. He's nervous again when he gets to the labs. Not really of Gavin himself. They've gotten over that by now. It looks fine on my computer. I keep reading. But after seeing him and talking so much online, it's always different in person. As it is, he doesn't have to worry. Their entire group is in the labs pretty much. Michael and Lindsay and Ryan laughing along with Gavin. When Jeremy enters, they look up and greet him cheerfully. And all 4 of them hang out for a few minutes while Gavin packs up his stuff to leave. It's always easier in a group. BUTTERNOG! BUTTERNOG is the best character. You guys have fun, Michael says, as they get ready to leave. He's got his arms folded, looking at them with a knowing sort of smirk, and Ryan and Lindsay exchange a glance and a laugh. Jeremy feels his cheeks heat, but when he glances at Gavin, it's the other man who's blushing. Ooh. He laughs it off, though, shoving at Michael's shoulder before prancing out of the room, Jeremy following after him. Any awkwardness is soon forgotten as they make their way to the flat. They stop to get bubble tea on the way home. It's a nice day, warm but not too hot outside, and Jeremy thinks Gavin looks particularly radiant in the sunshine, smiling and laughing, sunglasses shoved up into his hair, and chewing absently on the straw of his drink. He keeps asking about Jeremy now, too. His classes, his family, his job. It's nice to share. Yeah, what did you just walk into? It's not art anymore, for sure. I'm so sorry. When they get inside, Gavin makes a beeline for BUTTERNOG, who's lying on the couch. I don't know if they are yellow or not. Jeremy laughs, watching him, and goes to make himself some lunch. They settle into a companionable quiet. Jeremy turns the TV on, quietly, some sitcom, easy to keep on in the background, and watches it as he eats. Gavin's lying on his stomach on the carpet soon enough, dangling a feather on a stick in front of the cat, and laughing when he swipes at it. I'm glad you're pleasantly surprised, Mia. Welcome to the end of the stream. When Jeremy finishes eating, he picks up his phone and hesitates. Gavin looks so nice in this stream of sunlight coming in through the window, smiling and giggling at the cat. And thank you for the birthday wish. He lifts his phone and takes a photo. Gavin turns a second later and raises his eyebrows. Are you Snapchatting me? He asks, sounding amused. No, Jeremy replies, embarrassed. Sorry, I can delete it if you want. Just seemed like a nice shot. No, it's fine. Let me see. Jeremy gets up and sits down next to him, reaching out to scratch BUTTERNOG's forehead as he passes. The cat butts its head into his hand, purring happily, and Gavin peers over his shoulder at the picture. That is nice, he says, and Jeremy looks up and finds their faces are quite close together. He can't look away. Gavin's smiling at him, and Jeremy shyly smiles back. He feels sure the other man must be able to tell that his heart's pounding, that he's too aware of his breathing. But after a moment, Gavin leans back, reclining on one elbow like some sort of Roman statue. Do you have an Instagram? He asks. I think you'd post interesting ones. I don't, Jeremy replies, and rubs at the back of his head. I'm not very interesting. No kiss yet, guys. Yes, you are, Gavin insists. You could post all your food pics, and your cat, and other things. That's a good photo, he adds again. You've got the sunlight really nicely. You missed, Gavin came over again, and they almost kissed. Thanks, Jeremy says. I'll think about it, I guess. I don't need enough interesting things to run a food blog, but I could make one for BUTTERNOG. I'd follow that, Gavin says. He rolls onto his back in the sunlight like he's a cat himself. The movement makes his shirt right up a little, revealing a sliver of tan skin, and Jeremy's gaze lingers for a moment before snapping away, annoyed with himself for staring. Yeah. No. Just hold on, guys. Hold out. Gavin doesn't appear to have noticed. Can I come over and play with the cat again? Tomorrow to play with the cat again, my bad. He asks, rolling his head back to stare at Jeremy upside down. His lips twitch into a fond smile. Of course, Gav. Alright, page break. And he does come over. The next day, and a few days after that, and so on, and it's wonderful. And they usually end up sitting together and going to play some Mario Kart, and Jeremy can't stop smiling the whole time until his face literally hurts. Gotta swallow. Gavin's really nice to him. Oddly, particularly nice. Always asking things about his life and seeming genuinely curious. Offering to help with assignments or inviting Jeremy to on-campus parties or suggesting they play video games together. He's funnily affectionate too, touching Jeremy's arm, hugging him before he leaves. Jeremy can't tell if he's this nice to everybody or if there's something specific about the way Gavin's behaving with him. Surely not. He doesn't dare to get his hopes up, and he's still too scared to make a move himself. Matt keeps laughing at him. He is a terrible person. Will you stop that? Jeremy snaps after Gavin leaves one day and Matt emerges from his bedroom singing Gayer European at an ever-increasing volume. Matt trails off, snickering. Just ask him out, he says, scratching BUTTERNOG with one socked foot as he passes the cat on his way to the fridge. You know you want to. You know him well enough by now. I can't, Jeremy insists. Why? Matt challenges. He's over here all the time. Of course he likes you back. He just likes the cat, Jeremy says softly, glancing down at BUTTERNOG. Matt lets out a mighty snort. Right, he drawls, in the tone of voice that implies that he thinks Jeremy is stupid, or unobservant, or both. And Jeremy gives him a measuring look, but something flutters in his chest, a treacherous little hope that maybe he's right, that maybe Jeremy's just been too scared to see it. Page break. Of course, it's as soon as he starts to hope that everything goes wrong. A timetable clash means Jeremy's in a lecture he doesn't normally go to. It's one that Michael and Gavin are in, and he spies them when he sits down. There's so much lag right now. On the other end of the theater. He sits on the other side of the aisle because there aren't many seats left. Page break in unison. Tries to catch Gavin's eye, but he fails. He's leaning over, looking at something on Michael's laptop screen. The lecture starts, and Jeremy's focused on his note-taking. Except when it finishes, and he stands up, getting ready to go, he catches sight of them in the corner of his eye. Michael's noticed him, is pointing, and laughing. Gavin's turned away, but his face is red, and it seems like he's laughing too. Jeremy goes stiff. He turns away, not wanting them to know he saw. It's nothing. It's probably nothing. He's friends with Michael, and the other man's not the sort to gossip or make fun of people behind their back. Besides, they're not in high school. Pointing and giggling isn't something they do. Or is it? He packs up his stuff and starts up the aisle towards them. The two of them are distracted, talking to each other, and don't see him approach, and sure enough, he catches his own name. The Jaws theme begins to play in the back of his head, slowly, ominously. Likes you, he hears Michael say. That's why you're over there all the time. I suppose it's very bloody funny to you, he hears Gavin reply, and Michael gives his usual snickering laugh. Yeah, it's pretty fucking amusing. You're scared? Jeremy's stomach sinks. He hurries away before they can notice he approached, feeling sick. All he could think of is the knowing look Michael gave him the one time in the computer labs. He must know Jeremy has a crush on Gavin, and the two of them laughing together, it's pretty fucking amusing. Suddenly, with a horrible lurch in his gut, he realizes what this has been all along. It was too good to be true. Gavin developing a sudden interest in his cat, his stupid cat, suddenly wanting to spend time with him out of nowhere. A prank? What's the payoff? Getting to laugh about you, crushing on him so hard you never realized it all along. All they wanted was to mess with you, to see how you reacted to spending time with him. God, have they been laughing at him this whole time? It's a horrifying conclusion to jump to, and it's just that, a conclusion, a stupid one, but he can't help it. All along it's been Gavin, beautiful Gavin, funny Gavin who everyone loves, who's confident and smooth and totally in control of himself, and Jeremy's just Jeremy. Awkward and dweeby and the fool in this whole situation. Stupid. Stupid! Why would it be real? Why would Gavin ever be interested in him? He could have his pick of anyone he fucking wants. He could cry. He doesn't. He quashes his upset down into a cold anger and takes a deep breath and heads for the gym to work his anger out. Dun, dun, dun. Page break. Received. Hey, little Jay, can I come over tomorrow? I'm not gonna do the accent text. Sent. I'm busy. Received. Oh. Wednesday then? Sent. I have an assignment to work on. Received. What if I'm really quiet and just sit and play with the cat? Tongue out face. Sent. The cat is also busy. Received. O face. Sent. It's not a good time right now. Received. Okay. ... Jeremy, no. Page break. He pushes himself into work and working out over the next few days. Every time he thinks about the whole situation, a sick sort of humiliation rises up in his chest. Don't worry, guys, it won't last long. It doesn't help that Gavin keeps texting him, asking if he's okay. Obviously think that something's wrong, something's happened, that Jeremy's sick, or has had some personal crisis, to the point that he even messages Matt asking what's wrong. After Matt shows him, Jeremy fires off a curt text informing Gavin that he's fine, just doesn't need anything distracting at the moment. The texts stop after that, and the lingering silence makes Jeremy feel like he's upset the other man. That makes him feel guilty and sad and annoyed with himself, but he thinks, again, of how the other two laughed at him and swallows it away. When he runs out of productive things to do, he turns to playing games. But all of Harry Potter? God. I only read gay fanfic. But seeing Gavin pop up online makes his heart lurch. He's not sure why, if it's excitement or nerves or what. Gavin invites him to a game of Portal. He hesitates, then hits decline. It doesn't feel as satisfying as he thought it would. Page break. We're almost done. Another big assignment passes, and Ryan invites everyone to a bar to celebrate. Jeremy wants to decline. There are lots of Harry Potter fanfics. Like, my roommates are really into Harry Potter, so they probably know all the good ones. Anyway. Jeremy wants to decline, but literally all his friends are going, and he gets badgered into coming along. Maybe he can drink his sorrows away. That seems appropriately cinematic. He can sit there, all brooding alone at the bar. Everyone who looks at him will know he's been done some terrible wrong. The world will sympathize with him, or think he is pathetic. He doesn't much care. As it is, his plans to sit and brood don't go so well because they order food, and he's really hungry. Oh my god, my immortal. Yes. So he ends up sitting and eating with everyone else. Gavin is morose, casting him continual little glances, but not coming up to talk to him. He looks sad when Jeremy sneaks a look at him, not annoyed or even sneery at Jeremy catching on to what he and Michael have been laughing over. Just upset and worried, with a little furrow to his brow and a sad twist to his mouth. Jeremy hates himself for putting it there, then hates himself even more for feeling bad about it. Michael seems confused too. He keeps glancing between them and squeezing Gavin's shoulder, and Jeremy can't think why. He excuses himself as soon as he's finished eating. Everyone's distracted. Half of them have got... hang on. I swallow all the spit that's in my mouth. Everyone's distracted, half of them having got up to get drinks, and Ryan causing havoc over at the pool table. Gavin's the only one who sees him leave, and he gets up and starts to approach him. You missed all the angst, Galaxy. Jeremy's halfway to the door when he glances over to his shoulder to see Gavin heading towards him and freezes. Their eyes meet, and he forces himself to look hard, cold, angry. I know what you did. Gavin falters, stopping his tracks. His eyes widen before he turns slowly and sits down again. Jeremy feels sick. He marches out again. Page break. In the end, it is Matt who puts everything right. Woo, Matt. Jeremy spilled his guts to him after that night at the bar, mostly because he had too much to drink, and Matt knows how to pry things out of him. Mostly by annoying him with questions until he gets angry and blurts out answers anyway. As it is, a few days later, Jeremy comes home from uni, only to freeze when he sees Gavin, sitting on the floor, in the middle of the living room, playing with BUTTERNOG. He looks up and goes still when he realizes Jeremy's home. "Sup," Matt says, from where he's lounging on the couch, watching Cupcake Wars. "Matt," Jeremy says slowly. His heart's pounding and he's shaking a little. His anger has faded over the last few days. He feels tired and sad and just doesn't want to deal with this. He's even skipped a few classes to avoid running into Michael. "I invited Gav over to play with the cat," Matt informs him, and Jeremy scowls as he steps further into the room. Gavin's still staring up at him, eyes huge. "He doesn't care about the fucking cat," he snaps, and Gavin flinches. "Don't say that in front of BUTTERNOG," he cries, covering the cat's ears with his hands. Jeremy shoots him an annoyed look, and he seems to deflate a little. Matt just raises eyebrows. "I think you two have some things to discuss," he says, and leaves the room after giving Jeremy a very meaningful glance. Jeremy has no idea what it's supposed to mean. He's not the one with the problem here. There's a very awkward silence as soon as he's gone. Jeremy turns away, taking deep breaths. His hands are shaking, and he hates how weak it makes him feel. Hates how a lump's risen in his throat, and he thinks he might sound like he's about to cry if he talks. "You don't have to be here," he forces out finally. "I want to be," Gavin replies. It's quiet and too vulnerable, and for some reason that's what makes Jeremy break, whirling around on him. "Don't humor me, Gavin," he snaps. "I can fucking handle rejection. Just don't be here pretending to make me feel better. I can only assume that's what you're doing. You've had your laughs, so this must be the pity party now that you know I know, right?" Gavin was there the whole time. Matt invited him. Gavin stares at him for a very long moment. "What?" he finally asks, sounding confused. Just go. I know you're only here because Matt asked you. He throws his backpack onto the couch and starts to march into the kitchen to grab himself a drink. He's right, Gavin blurts out suddenly, and Jeremy stops in his tracks. The other man continues, too quickly, like he doesn't even mean to let the words out. I don't care about the cat. I mean, the cat's awesome, but I really liked you, and I want an excuse to come over and get to know you. Aw. It takes a moment for the words to register. When they do, Jeremy doesn't quite believe them, still processing for a moment as he slowly turns towards Gavin. What? He asks quietly. Gavin's head is ducked, his cheeks bright red. I'm sorry, he says suddenly, and scrambles to his feet, arms wrapped around himself, and blush activated, and shoulders hunched. I won't make it awkward. I should go. He hurries for the door, BUTTERNOG letting out a plaintive meow after him. It takes a moment for Jeremy to get to his senses. Then the weight of what Gavin said hits him, and he starts after him. Gavin, wait! Gavin's already reaching for the door handle, and Jeremy grabs his arm and tugs him back. Gavin stumbles, startled. He stares down at Jeremy with wide eyes. You what? Jeremy asks again. Did you just say you were into you? Gavin repeats, voice very tight. Yeah, it's okay. We don't have to talk about it. I won't make it weird. Oh my god, Jeremy says. He can't even believe it. I never... Why didn't you say anything? You're intimidating, Gavin admits. I thought you wouldn't be into me. Jeremy's world is spinning. He can't believe what he's hearing. Feels like he's in a dream again. A good dream this time. He's still holding onto Gavin's arm. Can't bring himself to let go. Just stares at him, searching for a joke or a lie. But Gavin's green eyes are completely earnest, even if he looks a little embarrassed, almost scared. Why would you be intimidated by me? Jeremy asks. You're you! What? Gavin asks, sounding very confused. What's me? You know, Jeremy says, and gestures at him. All that. Gavin blinks slowly a few times. I don't know what you mean, he says finally, and there's something unsure and vulnerable in it as he gives an awkward laugh. What, you think I'm cool or whatever? God, no. Have you seen me interact with anyone except our friends? I'm useless. Besides, you're you. You ride motorbikes and you go to the gym and you rap. Yes, Michael showed me your SoundCloud page. And you have your life all sorted out. You live here with your best friend, your amazing cat. I don't think you'd ever be interested in this weird exchange student. You find me intimidating, Jeremy replies incredulously. Don't make fun of me, Gavin grumbles, and Jeremy can only laugh, a bit hysterically. Kiss, kiss, kiss. I thought you were making fun of me, he says. I saw you and Michael laughing and I thought you knew about my crush on you and this whole thing has just been a way of messing with me. What? Gavin demands with genuine shock. Not at all, Jeremy. Oh, Jeremy, no. Michael's just being an asshole. He knew about my cat plan and thought I was stupid for not just talking to you normally. He was laughing at me, not you. Wait, he asked belatedly. You have a crush on me? He says it so shyly that Jeremy can only laugh again. He can see clearly now. Maybe it was a mistake to put Gavin on a pedestal like he did. If anything, getting to know him these last few weeks, he's been totally down to earth, totally normal. Just because he's pretty and put together doesn't mean he's the confident charmer that Jeremy had assumed. This is a really cute fic, I told y'all. Not to mention, anyone who comes up with such a convoluted scheme to talk to their crush revolving around a cat is even more awkward than Jeremy himself. Even he has never stooped to that level. He can't help but smile, big and wide, and after a moment, Gavin tentatively smiles back. Jeremy shakes his head fondly. So you used BUTTERNOG to get to me. That's cute. Is it? Gavin asks softly, and Jeremy runs a hand down his arm and squeezes his fingers gently. Yes, but Gavin, you don't have to make excuses like that to come over here. Gavin's smile widens, and he looks down, cheeks flushing. Sorry about ignoring you the last few days, Jeremy says then, feeling guilty about it all over again. Gavin just grabs his hand properly and beams at him. No, you were upset. It's understandable. I guess I should have been more upfront about this. We both should have, Jeremy says, and takes a deep breath. And somehow, after all this, it's easier than it's ever been, a new confidence filling him. And in that case, Gavin, would you like to go out with me? Yes, Gavin replies immediately. I most certainly would. They stare at each other solemnly for a moment before both. Let me try that again. They stared at each other solemnly for a moment before both breaking down in fits of rather childish giggles. After a moment, Gavin turns his into a maniacal laughter as he looks over at BUTTERNOG, who is staring at them with rather judgmental eyes from the top of the couch. "My cunning plan has succeeded," he snickers. "Oh, shut up," Jeremy says. He tugs Gavin forward and tries to give him a headlock. It's awkward with their height difference, but Gavin just giggles and ducks low, wrapping his arms around Jeremy's waist and hugging him tightly instead. He nearly knocks him over, sending them stumbling back into the wall, but Jeremy just laughs and squeezes him back, not worrying now about being too obviously looking too awkward. None of that matters anymore, and he hugs Gavin as tightly as he wants, closing his eyes and smiling widely when he feels Gavin burrow his face into the side of his neck. It seems things aren't too good to be true after all. The end. Okay, so they didn't actually kiss, I lied, but it's so cute. That fic is so cute. That's probably the cutest thing this author has written. She's written a lot of angst. Like, a lot of angst. The end of the fic. How'd y'all like it?